Have you ever asked yourself, what am I? It's a question that often gets lost in the hustle and bustle of our daily lives. There's a certain irony in the way we, as humans, focus so much on who, when, and where we are. We're so caught up in these aspects of our identity that we overlook the most fundamental question of all, what am I? At the heart of our existence, we are a unifying, intelligent, and observing signature expression. Many would call this our soul, a subjective consciousness that predates our ego and our sense of who am I by more than 2 years. This suggests that our core identity, our what, manifests well before language and conscious thought. So if what am I is such a crucial question, why do we often forget to ask it? Our journey starts before we even learn to speak, when we are purely a unique, reverberating signature expression. This is an idea that many may find unfamiliar, even unsettling. After all, we are so accustomed to defining ourselves through language, through the labels we attach to our identities. I'm a teacher, a parent, an artist, an athlete. But what if we were to peel back these layers of language and ego? What would we find beneath? The answer is profound. It's analogous to realizing that we came into the world a C sharp, but forced to live as if we were a B flat. This is how our authentic expression goes out of awareness. Imagine a newborn child, untouched by the constructs of language, unburdened by the weight of a defined identity. This child is not yet a name, a nationality, a profession. Instead, they are a unique expression of life's energy, a reverberating signature of consciousness. This is what we are before we learn to speak, before we develop an ego, before we begin to tell ourselves the stories of who we are. But as we grow, we often lose touch with this original state. We begin to identify more with our ego, our language-based identities, and less with our original, unique expression of life. We create narratives about ourselves based on our experiences, our successes and failures, our joys and sorrows. And while these narratives certainly shape us, they are not our complete story. Our complete story begins much earlier, before the onset of language, before the formation of ego. It begins with our unique signature expression, the purest representation of our being, our C-sharpness, if you will. When we fail to acknowledge this, we miss out on embracing our complete story. We find ourselves living a story that life did not intend for us, a story of our ego's creation. In the end, it's about understanding that beneath the layers of language and ego, beneath the narratives we construct, we are still that unique expression of life, whole and intact. We are still the observing intelligence, the neutral witness, patiently waiting for the ego to release its grip so the heart can reinstall itself as our true compass. So are you living the story life intended for you, or are you lost in a narrative of your own creation? Despite our ego's attempts to separate and divide us, our original expression remains whole. This truth is as profound as it is simple. Our original expression, what we are at our core, is a unified field of subjective consciousness. It's a unique, reverberating signature that we often refer to as the soul, our invisible something else that wants nothing more than to be its fullest expression in the world. Have you ever noticed that the soul and spirit of something is all there is of it? This is the essence of your being, that part of you that predates ego, language, and the who am I question. Most important, this original expression, your soul, is not a passive observer. It is an orchestrating intelligence, an active participant in the symphony of your life. It runs in the background, like a well-designed piece of software, quietly powering your journey through life. As a neutral witness, it observes your life without judgment, learning without bias, and growing with each experience. This orchestrating intelligence is not affected by the ego's attempts to divide or separate you from life. It remains whole and intact, patiently waiting for the ego to loosen its grip on your awareness. It waits during times when you are dismembered by life events, until you remember, so you can return to your original state of wholeness. This is not a journey to a distant place, but rather a return to the heart of your being, to the source of your beginnings. The heart, the seat of love and compassion, is our true compass. It guides us towards unity, towards wholeness. It is the door to presence. When we allow the heart to reinstall itself as our true compass, we align ourselves with our original signature expression. This is how we live in harmony with our true nature. We start to understand that we are not separate entities battling against the world, but rather integral parts of a unified whole. This alignment, this return to wholeness, is not a single event, but a developmental process. With each breath, with each heartbeat, we are given the opportunity to align ourselves with our original expression, to live our truth. In the end, the fragile ego and the part of you still becoming merge, leading you to a single embodied expression the world is eager to see. So, I ask you again, what are you? This is not a question to be answered with words, but rather a call to action, an invitation to embark on the most important journey of your life, the path inward. As we close, I want you to visualize a woman sitting alone on a park bench, lost in thought. The sky is overcast, and a gentle rain begins to fall, dotting the pavement around her. She doesn't seem to notice or care about the rain. Instead, she's deep in contemplation, her gaze focused on the subtle ripples formed by the raindrops hitting a nearby puddle. Her surroundings are calm and serene, reflecting her internal quest for harmony. The rain, a symbol of renewal and cleansing, mirrors her desire to wash away the ego's influence and reconnect with her original expression. The soft pitter-patter of raindrops serves as a soothing background of rhythm, a metaphor for the steady heartbeat of life and the continuous opportunity to align with her truth. She takes a deep breath, her chest rising and falling in sync with the rhythm of the rain. Each breath she takes is a conscious step towards the unity and wholeness she seeks. The rain intensifies, but she remains unflinching, welcoming the downpour as an affirmation of her resolve. Suddenly, a smile breaks across her face. A realization, perhaps. She understands that the path inward is not a journey to a distant place, but a return to the heart of her being, to the source of her beginnings. The rain, once a symbol of her struggle, is now a symbol of her rebirth. As the scene ends, she stands up, allowing the rain to fully drench her. This is not a defeat, but a victory, a symbolic immersion into her original expression, to live her truth. She is not battling against the world. She is an integral part of it. And so, in the rain, she finds her answer to the "what am I" question, not in words, but with insightful action. Hers is an invitation accepted and a journey begun.